Hello, the Andy. I'm glad you could meet with me today.
Hello, the Sarah. I'm glad to be here. What would you like to talk about?
I have been watching the CNBC and they are saying that the market has climbed too fast. I am worried that my account is about to crash and burn.
That is a good concern to have, the Sarah. We should all be concerned about our risk exposure.
Woo, that is good to know. I am buying ultra-short ETFs to protect myself from a possible pullback in the market.
Whoa, have you seen anything in the market that is bearish?
No, but on CNBC they have said that the market has climbed too quickly, so I am looking for bearish opportunities to protect myself. I have also listened to the Tom Sosnoff, who also says that the market is going to pull back.
If that method works for you, then you should use it. My preference is to make sure that my risk is managed so I don't lose money during a small pullback. This allows me to stay invested as long as the market is bullish.
I understand, but you are not considering the big picture. When the market pulls back, my account will lose money. So I must have something that will be profitable during that pullback.
That sounds reasonable. May I ask what you consider to be change in the market to bearish?
Yes. You may ask what I consider to be a change in the market to bearish.
Okay, what would you say if the SPX pulled back to $1,290? Would that be a signal to be bearish?
Yes. That would be a signal to be bearish. I heard on CNBC that $1,300 is a key level of support for the S&P, so if that level is violated, then it will be a bearish indicator for the market. Since the market has moved up too strongly, I need to buy bearish positions so I don't lose money when it drops that far. That is more than 50 points, after all.
But do you realize that $1,290 is only about a 4% pullback?
I had not thought about it that way, but it is still more than 50 points, so I need to enter bearish positions to protect my account.
If your goal is to protect your account, would I be correct in assuming that you have used beta weighting to understand what the effect on your account would be if the S&P pulled back to $1,290?
Heck no. But that doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. If you don't know what you are trying to protect yourself against, you don't know how much protection to buy. Right now the market is clearly bullish from a long-term view. A pullback to $1,290 would be an opportunity to add to positions, not sell, from my perspective.
So what would you consider a good time to enter bearish positions, the Andy?
What would you say if I told you that the S&P could pull back all the way to about $1,220 and we would still be bullish?
I would say that you must be high on crack. That is crazy. A drop to that level would mean that the S&P has lost more than 120 points. That is bearish, and my account would be wiped out if I traded that way.
Actually, a pullback to $1,220 would be less than a 10% drop from today's value of $1,343. That wouldn't even qualify as a correction.
So what would you suggest?
I would suggest starting with the current open positions that you have. Where are your decision points, or stop-loss points, in relation to your entry price, and what is your portfolio heat based on current market values?
My decision points are almost all higher than my entry points. My total portfolio heat is less than 8% based on current market values.
So this tells me that your current positions are sized appropriately in relation to your decision points. It also tells me that if every position in your portfolio were to drop at once, then your maximum loss is less than 8% of today's market value. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Now let's look at your diversification. Are your investments spread appropriately across multiple sectors?
As compared to the All-Country World Index, I am either overweight or equal weight among the top 4 sectors. I am underweight in the bottom 6 sectors.
And what about your diversification across countries?
I am overweight in the strongest countries, the USA and Canada. I am also overweight in some key EFA countries. I am underweight in the rest.
That sounds pretty good too.
I am a rock star at diversification.
What you have described is a portfolio that has very limited risk, even against current market prices. You described a portfolio that is diversified across a range of sectors and countries that are all strong. If your entry rules follow what we discuss in the RTT-LTI sessions, then you only buy positions that are climbing, and when your decision points are hit, you force yourself to make an informed decision to take an action.
That is correct.
So we agree that the market is bullish, right?
That is correct. We agree that the market is bullish.
And we agree that your portfolio is well diversified, right?
That is correct. My portfolio is well diversified.
And we agree that your entry and exit rules have kept your risk managed to an acceptable level, right?
That is correct. My portfolio risk is well managed.
So why are you looking for bearish positions?
Because I heard on CNBC that the market is ready to pull back. I also heard that Tom Sosnoff is bearish on the Friday market wrap. I am concerned because what I have heard, and decided that I need to protect myself.
If, after this discussion, you feel that you need to enter bearish positions, then I will encourage you to do so. The methods that I discuss are based on fundamental and technical analysis, but that doesn't mean that your emotional response is wrong. If you choose to enter bearish positions to protect yourself, may I ask a favor?
Yes. You may ask a favor.
When the pullback happens, would you share your results with the rest of the group so we can learn from your results?
Yes. I will share with the rest of the group, but only if I turn out to have been right.